Hello and welcome to episode 506 of the Daily Sales Message Podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple, actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. In today's episode, we're talking about market saturation. When you're in a really busy marketplace, where you've rehearsed your podcast, really busy marketplace, and you feel like the market is saturated. So what's the point? We're just another supplier. We're another shop, another company. What's the point? Loads of other people do what we do. What's the point? I'm here to tell you that market saturation is actually a myth. It's a case of supply and demand. And just because there are people in the marketplace already who are meeting the needs of the marketplace doesn't mean they can't be unseated completely, or you can't take some of their market share from them. There's a couple of prime examples of this from the world of the internet. So back in the day, it was MySpace and Friends Reunited and Bebo. They were the main social media platforms. And then Facebook came along. It was not a first mover to the marketplace, but it took over and absolutely dominated. If they'd have looked and, the market's saturated, there's like 3 or 4 really big players already, what's the point? It would never have happened. Same for search engines. You probably can't even remember these, depends how old you are, but things like Lycos, Yahoo, Ask Jeeves, etc. There was a number of different search engines that you could use back in the day, and then Google came along and solidified and captured the marketplace, and now they are the dominant leader and have been for quite a while. But again, if they looked at a marketplace and said, well, there's quite a few people here, the market's saturated. Market saturation for me is a little bit of an excuse. It's putting the blame on the circumstances, not on yourself, and like preempting failure. I'd love to do it, but there's so many people here, so I can't do it. It's nonsense. You can compete, you can take business from those people, and like Facebook and Google, you can actually move on to dominate the marketplace. It all comes down to how well you deliver your product or service and how closely attuned you are to the needs of your buyer, how well you communicate, how clear your message is, of course, but it's all about that. There can be a million suppliers in the marketplace. You can still come in and absolutely dominate if you focus on what matters most to the client. You speak to as many people as possible, and you're really clear with your offering, with your messaging, so people just get it. So if you find yourself talking about market saturation or hear somebody talking about it as a reason to not do something, just remember it's a little bit of an excuse, and it's essentially accepting failure, preempting failure before it's even happened. Right, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow in episode 507, we're going to be talking about a selling point that is relevant to some offerings, not to all, but it's definitely worthy of note. So we'll cover that in tomorrow's episode. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please hop on over to LinkedIn. You'll find me there, James Newell, Clear Sales Message. I was going to say click the like or subscribe button. No, James. DM me, let me know what you like about the podcast, ask me a question or something you'd like me to cover in a future episode. It's always great to hear from my listeners. I was about to say fans, that's a bit pompous, isn't it? From my listeners and viewers around the world. Thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end. I appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow for hopefully a more professionally delivered edition of the Daily Sales Message.